If you gonna watch it on YouTube, pardon me trying to figure out what I'm doing. Give me 1 second. Let me see. There we go. Hello, babe.
Yes,
Huh?
yes.
Is your baby?
Girl, I ain't got no kids. What's your mouth? I'm a grandma. I ain't got
So
no
your
kids.
grandbaby?
That's as
Huh?
kids on the plane.
Um. Oh, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. There we go. There we go. What did you? What did you call? What did you call Dion?
I'm right here. I'm right
Mr.
here.
A, Mr.
Everybody else eating,
A,
making me hungry, so I'm about to give me
AKA,
a little
I
snack.
can't wait, Mr. AKA, I'm not waiting for class, Mr. AKA, I'm gonna do my own resources, Mr. AKA.
All right, so we gotta catch everybody up for last week. I wish Corey was here. He could have got the clip notes. But so last
Uh-huh.
week we were talking about how soon do you tell who you with certain things, and what's the time frame, and what type of conversations you having up front. And we Tina, we were talking about. We ended up. One of the questions was what your sex drive is, like how on a scale of 1 to 10, what it is. And we drifted off into a word that kept coming up that Tina said, which was resources. And so all of us was a little puzzled at first, but I think deep down inside, we all knew what she meant. We all knew what she meant, but we wanted 100% clarification that we knew what she was talking about. And lo and behold, we were all right. She was talking about sexual partners that you make sure you keep in a certain category at all times and don't let the lines cross. So when you're in a relationship, it's one thing, but if you're not in a relationship, you can just have resources. And Dion mentioned something
Yep.
that him and his buddies used to do back in the day. They put people in categories like this person good at cuddling, this person good at sex, this one's good at romance, this one can cook. You got to know where to put people. And that goes for every
Mm-hmm.
category, including romance and erotica and sensation and all the things that a lot of people scared to talk about for some reason. But we know good and well when it's bad, it'll break up a relationship. If you're not sexually compatible, it's one of the most daunting feelings when you're having to enter into these connections and I've been there. So Tina's gonna talk about resources. You want to expound on that, Tina, while I take a bite of my salmon?
Yeah, I learned at a very young age in my 20s um, about resources the hard way because I got married. It was my first marriage. I was a virgin with that marriage. And I think so, yeah. hmm Um, so I was a virgin and married my husband due to unforeseen circumstances in real life. We divorced. And so my job, my goal at that time was I need a husband. So with me needing that husband, when I was approaching men, I was going out with men and they wanted to have sex with me, and I was like, no, no, I can't have sex with you because we're supposed to be married. And then one day I took this trip, actually, which was crazy, in the town that I now live in called Lawton, Oklahoma, the military town. They were all going to see soldiers, and this one ugly soldier swooned me out of my panties. So once we had sex, I just knew, baby, we was gonna get married and everything else, but that is not what happened. I was chasing after him, and he was running the opposite direction, messed around and married somebody. and said, but we could still see each other. I said, no. That broke my heart because I gave him my body. And it was like, after that experience, two things happened. One, my heart was broke, but two, I found out that he was better at sex than my first husband. And I didn't know that I could actually enjoy sex and have greater orgasms. And from the experience I described, my friend said, you came upon what we call a freak, because he was toes in the mouth and kneecaps and tongue in the ear, all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I had never experienced this because it was missionary, the Holy Grail, the missionary, on top, and then you lay on your stomach. Them the three everybody knew, right? So now this was like a game of Twister, and you just, it was a lot. But after he broke my heart, one of my homeboys was like, "Girl, you catching feelings for these dudes. You ain't supposed to have feelings." He said, "You got a dildo?" I said, "What?" Introduction to sex toys, okay? He said, "With a sex toy, you don't have no feelings. You just get you a nut and you go." So I decided to practice on humans. And I went back to every dude in high school that I wanted and decided to give him a little try. Some of them were available, some of them were married, some of them was like, damn. Uh, and then I decided that I was, hold on. And then I decided that I was going to try to have sex with somebody without having feelings involved. Now, I didn't know how to do this because I had never thought about it. So I thought about asking the guy directly, what is it that you like? One dude was like, I just like to penetrate. Okay. So I just put my mind in that like space like I was a job, and I went through what I call one-on-one hoology, and I just went through a whole year of just not catching feelings and just experimented being detached from people while I had sex. Later on, when I wanted to get into a relationship, I just started asking dudes up front, you want to fuck or you want to be in a relationship? Because I was getting tired of being duped by the men. I was tired of being duped by the men. Uh, they take me on dates and stuff, but really you just want my vagina. So I just became very blunt with it. And I started separating my emotions. So that started in my 20s. And that's how I started off with the resources. If I was dating somebody and they wanted to get to know me, I would not have sex with them. I would have sex with the people that I already had sex with. And so they were a resource for me. That's what they became, was resources. That's how the long story how it started.
Sounds like a good wrap up to me. I mean, because in a nutshell, it's like, let me know what this is so I can make my decision based on what you want. Because if all you want is sex and your sex ain't even good, I ain't even gonna waste my. I mean, we not gonna be all right.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
and if it's trash, you ain't getting a second chance. If it's trash,
right?
you ain't getting a second chance.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you what. That's one. This another thing we just mentioned last week is whenever you catch feelings and then you have sex and then it's just like, oh man, all that time
Yeah,
we could have nipped this in the bud a
yeah.
long time ago.
And I discovered that I have a switch in me, and so what I would do is I would ask them up front, and I used to tell them, you get one or two choices. We could either whoop, or we can get to know each other. Which one you want to do? And they would say, I want to do both. I said, you can't do both. You got to pick one. So what
Right,
you think they was picking? And I said, after we pick it, I ain't gonna see you no more. That's
right.
gonna be it, just
Mhm.
like that. And they used to think they was playing because they would think, oh, I'm gonna put it down on you so good that you're gonna change your mind. And I would put it down on them so good that they would be like, you can't go. So I never caught feelings for those individuals. It was the ones that I caught feelings for when I thought we were going to do something more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. So
So
I
how do
know.
you pick? So how do you pick a resource? Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Gwen.
I was gonna say, so how do you pick a resource? Um, First of all, I pick somebody that I do have an energetic connection with, and what I mean by energetic connection is I gotta be attracted to them physically. Physically, I gotta be attracted to you. Um, you cannot be married. You can't be in no relationship. I don't need no drama. Um, you can be involved uh, with your single life, and I'm gonna be involved with my single life, and that's it. If you got somebody, I don't want to mess around because I had a real hurtful experience with that back in the day. But I digress. So it's somebody that I'm physically attracted to. Usually it's somebody that I don't have anything in common with other than we just do the sex and that's it. And that's all they have to offer. I mean, that's what I look for in the resource. Of course, with having sexual people, you got to make sure you're protected, they're protected. And I ask them, are you having sex with more than one person? If they say yes, then I know what I want to do and what I don't. And they ask me, and I answer it, just like we did in the last session. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna answer the question because you're gonna find out eventually anyway. So that's how I pick out my resources. Is somebody that I don't want to build anything with.
Wow. So Dion,
Yes.
that's where I'm like, I'm going straight to Dion. So I know you have been. I'm gonna let you tell as much or as little about you, whatever your life as you want. But you've also been even commenting on the last thing, the last live we had, was very interested in learning more about the resources and the process and so like that. So what is it about it that intrigues you so much?
I think for me, it's one of those situations where, like, back then, it was more or less kind of like being upfront, like Tina, like, what is it that you want? How do you fit into my life? Like, what are we doing? What's the boundaries? It's for me back then, it was more about boundaries. So for me, it's like, okay, well, you're coming to me or I'm coming to you. What connection are we going to have? And what purpose are you going to serve my life? Because again, I used to fall in love with potential. I used to fall in love with all types of things, and it never really panned out well. So I was like, well, you know what? From my experiences, if I come across this situation, I know this is good for this or that is good for that. So when it came to classifying people, it's like I let them classify themselves and I put them where they were supposed to. For me, it was just like everybody is a piece of, like, I have a whole playground of toys, right? And I'm going to play with all of them at some point, but this toy is good for developing my mind. This one is good for developing my soul. This one is good to just have social with, but no fun time, So that's what it was for me. It's just like categorizing people and putting them into my life where they're supposed to be. So yeah, definitely that.
Yeah, I agree too. And I think but what you go first, CC, before I get stuck going. What comes up for you when you thinking about it? Like the resource, the whole concept. Like, is it something that you fall into that category of wanting them, understanding them, not wanting them? Like, where you fall?
I'm with Tina. I have to put people in categories. Like you can't have high expectations of somebody because you're gonna be disappointed every time. So I put them in categories. Like that's all I'm with it. I'm with that. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say about it.
I think we all think the same thing. We just got a different approach about it. Like whether it's putting them in categories or, I think mine is just seeing how far my energy will go into them. Like my energy is like tight. Like my energy game is tight. I don't enter into too many things that I don't already see. And even if I see it and I'm just being bullhead and going to it, I still know it before I went into it. So I think for me, like, it's not necessarily of asking questions or asking the questions or making sure I'm upfront. It's just making sure that in no circumstance whatsoever they'll go any further than what I'm energetically feeling.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
Yeah.
and so the whole concept of resources, I think for me, at first had this connotation of, yeah, I mean, I guess I really do that, because I know where to put people. Like I said, in the category, it's like an energy thing for me, I guess, because it's more so like when I'm getting more into like a conversation with someone, if it's going somewhere I don't want it to be, or if I had an incident where I was getting to know someone and we had shared an experience, and it was just this sudden movement that she made that triggered something in me that I knew instantly that it wasn't going to go anything. It's like almost, how I say, your life flashed before your eyes. Like I could literally see our whole relationship like slap forward and slap back. It was like we went and looked and don't bother from this point on. But what a lot of times we do is we're like, well, I don't have any real evidence, so let me see. I think if we just are more energetically responsible and stop trying to prove that you knew, like you ain't gotta go
Yeah.
prove. You ain't gotta go prove it. Well, let me see, and then you be like, dang it, I knew it. Yeah, you knew it, but you didn't have a good way to get out of it. Then the best way out of it is just be honest. Like, you know what? It's not gonna work. Don't ask me how I know because I can't explain it even to myself, but I know that I know.
Yeah.
I feel that in my bones.
Cause you can have like a freaky side, then you have a laid back side. So you get somebody that's laid back on that day, and then you get somebody that's freaky on that time. I think that'll work out because you ain't always gonna get everything a person that got everything that you looking for. So it's best to put them in categories and take the emotion out of it because you got to really see. You got to use your discernment though.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was just talking to one of my friends earlier today, and we were talking about who and what we want. And when it comes down like to relationships, sometimes we have this idea that we have this perfect person that's going to have all these things, and there's never really a perfect person. You might get someone that percent of the boxes or whatever. Is that good enough for you to say yes, I can roll this person because the good outweighs the 20%? So, or you could just like, what, I don't want any relationships at all. I just want, when I want to cuddle, I'll call this person. When I want to have sex, I want to call this person. When I want to just go out and hang out and have a bros night out or something like that, I call this person. If I just want to just have a good friend just to have dinner with, like, it'd be nice if you could find someone to have all those things. But in this day and time, it's very hard to find that one person. So, hey, build your resources.
Yeah, I think what my thing is, my hang up is, if I'm gonna have a resource, I don't think I would want them more than one. I don't think I would. I think it would be. I can't. I can't see myself saying, you know what, such and such is good. No way. You know what I would do? I would get dap as a lover and go out somewhere and position myself and draw one in.
I will say this now. When we talk about that, there are some resources that are one time. Like there's batteries that's rechargeable, and there's some that's one time use. So, that's something you have to decide when you get involved in those things. But yeah, there are some that are rechargeable and worth keeping around. There's others that's like, but since I'm already here.
That was the other thing that I had a question about last week because Ebony had asked about like. So what was she saying? So do these resources know they resources? I was wondering how often do y'all use your rechargeable resources?
Not that much. Not that damn much. I want the real thing. I be wanting the real thing sometimes, like half the time. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Now, are you talking about electronics versus like? Because I know. Tina made a classification, not classification, but a distinction between electronic and her actual hand.
Okay, I'm not used to toys. Like I don't see how women use toys majority of the time. Like I cold turkey myself. Like if I don't have nobody, I just don't have nobody. I just shit. And if you a woman, you know your body. You can masturbate in the shower. You use that shower head, and you call it a day.
So
No,
you ain't experienced the rose.
I have not experienced the rose. I got the dolphin. I got the dolphin right now in my drawer, and I have not used that. I've implemented
See,
that in
I
in
guess
in
with
one of
me,
my sessions.
see, and for me, it would depend. I'm not a when I'm by myself, I don't want to penetrate myself. I'm more of a clit person. So
Yeah, me
I'm more
too.
at the clit
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So and you ain't did the okay, homework.
I
Get
not
the
did the
rose.
rose yet. No, because I read something about that
But
rose, Tina.
I'm gonna
Tina, I
just
read
tell
something
you.
about that rose. I'm gonna tell you.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna
tell
tell you
you.
what I read about that
Lose,
rose giving cancer and stuff.
lose
No, I ain't
first.
got it yet.
Lose first.
I know I can't do toys. I cannot. I'm not a toy person.
I'm not
Mm-mm.
The
either.
reason why,
Just.
because
I'm
when people
not.
think
I'm.
about toys, when people think about toys for women, they immediately think dildo. They immediately think vibrator. They
Oh
immediately
yeah.
think strap
Mhm.
on. And I don't want no penetration. I want the clit action is what I want.
Yeah.
Hey, I
Uh-huh.
want the clit action. That's what I want because that's
Me
where the
too.
sensation is. And then recently, I found some toys that actually because I like breast play, but your hand and breast play is kind of hard. It's kind of so I actually have you can either use it for suction down below or you can use it on your breast. Either way. So I had one on each breast and I got a different toy there. So just blow my own mind.
You blow your own mind.
I'm just saying. I'm just
Like,
saying.
I get it. I get it. I get
You,
it.
I
Cause
mean,
that's how
because
I am. If
if
I'm
it's
doing something,
bad,
it's just me. I ain't got no. I haven't owned a toy in years. I mean, it's been years since I used electric anything to get off.
the
Uh-uh.
the the hardest thing that takes me the longest time is like if I'm like say mentally, I know I want to have that orgasm, but I'm just not there, right?
Mhm.
I go to the porn, and there's certain porns that I like to watch, but the problem is not watching the porn. The problem is finding the porn. So if you don't email yourself a couple of links that you know is just gonna get you there, I
Good
spend
couple
30
of
minutes trying to
bookmarks.
find the porn and 2 minutes to get off. So that's the problem is finding the right porn. And then you gotta
Hey,
decide what is it you in the mood for. So
right.
with that and with my hand, it's there. If I generally when I'm using a toy, it's because I'm thinking about somebody, and so I got my visual. I'm good.
You good? All the actors are in place.
They all in place, and they energy be strong because I can tell when they're wanting me and desire me, and I'll be like, just pick the phone up, you know. But my issue is that mine are in Texas, and I live in Oklahoma, and I ain't
Yeah.
found nobody in Oklahoma, you know, in the yeah. I'm gonna leave that right there. I ain't found nobody in Oklahoma, so
Ain't nothing here in Oklahoma. Nothing.
nothing, nothing,
Nothing. That's sad.
nothing, nothing.
What you
I
doing
couldn't
over
even
there, Dallas?
find a male prostitute at all. Nothing. Just zero. If I wanted to pay for it, I couldn't, cause it ain't nothing here.
Mm-mm.
See what's going on in Alabama.
Huh?
I said it ain't too much going on in Alabama either.
I but I will tell you the Floridians, baby, they ready to come off that ass and give you some action. I got a whole interview. I mean, he video chatted me and was in the shower. I said, "Oh, okay then. You in the shower?" It did. You know, as you're drying off, you just walking past the screen, and I said, I think you got a piece of wood stuck to your leg, almost by your knee when you walk by. I keep seeing it. I don't know if you're aware, but I'm just letting you know that it's there and that I see it. So
You just letting them put him on notice that you noticed.
Yeah, he was
he was
trying to give
like,
you
"I'm
some
sorry,
pregame
am
warm
I
up.
offending you?" I said, "No, you're not offending me at all. But I'm just letting you know it's there and that I see it." So and then he, threw a helicopter on it. So I was like, okay, you.
Helicopter.
I like it when
Oh,
they can do the helicopter because that means they know how to use their hips. They not just straight in out in out in out in out. Like they know how to gyrate.
I
You
mean,
know what
that
I'm
was.
saying?
I'm gonna tell
Flow
you what.
wild
When
with
I
it.
did have sex with a man, that it was the. I know. I mean, it was the most boring, mundane thing I think I've ever done in my life was have sex with a man. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I think I was all right because there's still people in my inbox. It wasn't two, three, two men anyway, married in my inbox right now. Like I should call him out, but the Lord says,
Yeah,
but
I
it's
start
boring.
if it's somebody that I'm in a relationship or a marriage with, and they just having an off day, then I'm gonna help them out. But if it's supposed to be somebody that's supposed to be a resource, I pat them on the back and say it's okay, it's okay, and then that's it. It's okay, and then
And
that
they get fired as a resource.
It becomes a non-reusable resource.
fact fact, and they be trying to make it up. And what I have discovered is when you give a person a second chance to try to make it up, you've got, I mean, it's very slim. It is very slim that they're going to surprise you. I've had less than a handful of them that I gave a second chance to that I was very surprised. Like, as far as men. Now, as far, because y'all know I'm bisexual, right? Women, I love y'all. I'm sorry. Y'all get 2 minutes from me because I be so overstimulated with women. It, you gonna touch me and I'm gonna explode and that's it. I'm done.
You need to work on that.
I, that's why I do threesome. So I have the man there. He could do the rest of the work because after I touch her, that's it. After she touch me, I touch her. That's 2 minutes.
Oh
I,
my God.
that's
I'm
it.
like, you don't get out of here. If you don't get out of here.
I be like right there, right there. Okay. Ooh, watch out now. Get off. Watch out. I need to lay there.
I'm gonna make you a t-shirt with this face on it.
Oh man.
So you need
But
to
I'm that's because I'm not really with women too. I haven't been, oh God, 2015.
oh yeah. Because it's
So,
not the same.
but see,
Like,
that's
and
a
I know
different topic
people.
because I'm afraid to approach women just because I've had some experiences of people saying certain negative things to me. So but men, I have all the confidence, even if they reject me. But if a woman rejects me, it really hurts my feelings. I can't take rejection from a woman. I can take rejection from a man. I cannot
That's
take it from a woman. It
hilarious.
hurts my feelings.
Well, not hilarious, but funny. It tickles me. Dr. Sue just said over there. What you
I
doing
would
over
love to
there?
have a resource for a woman. I would love to have a resource for a woman, but some of them be wanting to move in on you. And
Some of them.
I remember the very first time I went to it was a club in Dallas. I went to, and it was my hairstylist. She was lesbian. She was like, "I bet you bisexual." I said, "I've always been curious, but I never tried." She said, "You gonna come with me?" I went with her that night. Met this beautiful woman. We had a great night. Took her back to my house. Well, I told her I would take her home, and she said, "No, I want to go to your house." And I said, "Oh, is this how this works?" Okay, cool. So I took her to my house, and then she was like, "Well, I know you finna go to work. I'll stay here she's like, do you have some food I can cook for you and all that? And I mean, she had like a real spending the night bag. I didn't know that that's how that works. You know, I'm like, is this how it is in the lesbian world? Because in the heterosexual world, you don't bring no spending night bag. You just pick up
Spending
your
no
stuff and
night.
go. And
Listen
that's
here.
just
I'm gonna have to say that in that situation, you didn't have a lesbian, you had a stalker. you
I
had
just met
you,
her that
you
night at the
had someone
bar.
who probably has some mental health issues, and this is a good insert because I really do think that women have such a higher rate of mental health issues because it gets masked so much in so many different ways. The strong woman, the soft woman, the battered woman, the traumatized woman, the this, the that, da. And it turns into like different mental illnesses. Why you don't want to go up to the men? It's why you don't want to deal with dress, especially from a woman. It was just a good insert because that we call it U-Haul lesbians because they move in so fast, but really they're just clinging to some glimpse of someone who they know can understand them. And who can understand a woman but another woman? I'm just saying.
Yeah, and see, I have male tendencies, so I guess that's why I be like, you gotta go. You can't be here. Like, you can't. I dropped her off at the bus stop because I got to go to work. So then after that experience, it made me kind of leery to have experiences with women because I was like, I don't want them to have this connection like this. I don't know what's going on. You know, like
Sit
I'm
in.
not trying to be in a relationship with you.
Uh-huh.
Like
Yep.
so,
Yep.
but
I completely agree.
I don't have no women resources. So, and I'm not good at hitting on women. I suck. So I hit on the men though all day long.
What you saying over there, Sue?
I came in late. I have no clue. I'm just trying to catch up.
Oh, you got some kind of clue. Something had to come up by now. I mean, we talk about all kinds of
Well,
things.
yeah, I already talked about the resources.
Yeah, but it's all about resources, though. I mean, we really still on the topic of resources.
Well, I'll tell you what came up for me this week. I You guys had me rolling for sure on the floor. But it was you had me rolling on the floor with the conversation, but at the same time it took me into a serious space of just looking at myself. um I have the person who's a 10, a 25 on a scale of 10, and what he wants to offer is to be a resource, and what I want is a committed relationship. And so we kind of have been doing this dance, and it got me to thinking, well, I've got another friend who said to me, well, why can't you just be free and try it? And I said, you know, I'm 73. I don't have time for bullshit. I want what I want. I've been through some stuff, right? Now, I have never knowingly been the side piece, but I know I've been side piece. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't an open, honest kind of discussion where, okay, so you the girl on the side and I got my main thing. But my friend was saying, and I had this conversation with a couple of friends. And the one that I talked to the most was saying, well, why can't he come to your house at night? Because I told him, you can't just roll up here at night, right? Why can't he come to your house at night? And I said, what is he coming for? Why is he coming? And she says, well, things don't usually get rolling until like 9 or 10 o'clock. And I've had people come and we've just had conversation. And I said, he's told me what he's interested in. He loves me, but he is not interested in a committed relationship. So why else would he be coming? Oh, well, you just won't give him a chance. So I got to wondering, from a generational standpoint, I thought about the people who are on the panel, and I am the oldest, and you guys are different with your different generations. And so it had me curious about what is the messaging that the generations are being exposed to, because from my generation to be the side piece was to be a hoe. And I think that a part of my resistance, and I had to dig deep. I've been you guys, I have really been working in this space, because although we started talking about it just in fun, it's taken me into a space of looking at myself and what is the programming. What is the programming? And so my programming was that nothing good happens at the dark. And anybody, if a person is interested in you, then they will see you in the light. They won't just want to see you at night, at the dark. And if they're coming at the dark, the only thing they're coming for is, it's a booty call. And I tell you, like, I got bags under my eyes, because yesterday I saw him, and it's like everything in me wants this man. Everything in me wants this man. And yet my brain, my heart, and my body is saying, bring it on. And my head is saying, no, I cannot, I can't get past my programming. I just, if I thought when I was young, hey, been there, done that. When I was young, if you had a wife, if you had a husband, that was your problem. It wasn't mine. So I did what I wanted to do. so, so I don't want, put things in context. I don't want it to sound like I'm being a holier than I, goody two shoe, because I've done my shit, right? But now I'm at a point, as I'm seeing the end of my life from where I am right now, there's something I'm real clear about what I want. I want his body. I want him, but I want it with conditions, And so I'm just curious about the programming of the different generations, because as I said, my generation would say, don't, a threesome? Are you out of your mind? Have you lost your, oh my God, you're a pervert. All y'all perverts. That's what that's the messaging for my generation. And if you, like, girls were only supposed to be with one man, notice I said one man, and boys were supposed to be with one woman. So all of that is still in the fiber of my being. And this conversation kind of brought it to the forefront of, why can't you just, hey, on a scale of 25 of 10, he is a 25.
I think they keep on. I said, I think the key part that you said is the fact you said you want him. You want him with conditions, because if you want to, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm just going to say what you said in a different way, I think. But you want him without conditions, because of the fact that you have to put something on it means you also have to maintain it. So you wish you could have everything that he has and that he offered without you having to feel any kind of way about it. Because the condition truly is the way you feel about what you're being, not what he's making you do or doing or being, because that's his path, that's his road. It ain't got nothing to do with you. So the condition that you would be, that you're really putting yourself under is that he needs to be a different way. Oh, wait a minute. Let me unmute you again, because it was echoing.
Yeah, yes and no. Yes, what you're saying is true, but because it's true, and because of where I am in my evolution, my personal development, I realize that that's what I'm doing. And so because of that, I made a choice. My choice is to go with my programming. In this moment, my programming is, I want a committed relationship. I'm not going to be the side piece. And I don't have a problem if that's what he wants. Certainly that is his absolute right. And as I said, when I was younger, I played. I played, and I played hard. I played with your husband. I played with your wife. I played with your brother. I played with your sister. I played. So I'm not judging. I'm just saying, right here at 73, right here, looking toward the end of my life, which God only knows how long or short that will be. At this point, I want commitment and I want monogamy. And so, I'm not going to be the resource and I'm not looking for a resource, but I don't judge because, as I said, I played hard.
She says you play hard. Well, Eva, you got
Uh,
Tina, what you got to say
for
something?
for me, huh?
Go ahead.
For me, a resource is not being the side piece. Um, do I want a monogamous relationship? Absolutely. Am I going bananas? No, I'm not going bananas. But when I want that itch to be scratched because I'm a scratched myself and it's been scratched enough and I need another human being, then that is when my resource comes into play um, for me. I don't have that particular experience anymore of uh, um, I want to have this. I really want to have this person that is a resource. I don't. I it to me. I understand. Like one of my resources, he's like, I'm single. I want to be single for the rest of my life. I have no desire to be in a relationship, and so I address it as such. Um, and same thing with the other resource that I have. You know, we have an actual connection when we're together. We decided that when we're together, we express that we love each other and how we feel about each other. We care about each other and be fully 100% immersed in that moment. And then when we leave, that's it. I don't foresee, each man does have a quality that I desire, but they don't have the quality of that I would want as a husband. So for me, there's no emotion there to for me to look at this man as husband material. I just leave it where it is because if we were going to be in a relationship or marriage situation, then he wouldn't be my resource. And one of them, we actually tried it and it didn't work, and we actually both find more freedom in just being each other's resource. We actually find freedom in that because he can love me the way he wants. He can love the, I don't,
Uh-oh.
I don't think I could. Did I freeze?
You back.
Okay. I don't, like I said, since my 20s, I haven't had experience of mixing the two. My question would be this, like, Dr. C, you don't have to answer this, but this is just food for thought. Because I agree with you. If you don't want to have a resource, don't. But this is my question for you. What is it about that person making you say, I know the sex is good, but outside of the sex, I feel like all the other qualities of this person I would as a husband. What is it that is in that you want to do that? Because is that because they have those qualities, has those qualities
Yeah, we
that makes
trying to
you
hang
want
on
that
to
person?
you,
I mean, that
Tina.
makes you want that person,
But it's
huh?
real choppy.
Huh?
I said we're trying to hang on to you, but it's real choppy. I think we got the gist of it, but when you start
Oh,
to say the question, can you repeat the question? Like, what is it about this man? Can you start from there?
yeah. What is it about this man besides the sex that makes you say, I want this man to be my husband? Because he has these qualities, I want him to be, instead of saying, this man has great qualities that I also desire in my husband. Like, what makes you want him specifically?
You're muted. Say that.
I said I have to think on that. Those are great questions.
Yeah,
Um,
that's why I say it's just food for thought. It ain't nothing to answer because I was in that position once before. That's why I'm saying it that way. Because one of the ones that's my resource, I wanted him as my husband, and it did not.
mhm, mhm. And as you're
So that's just
talking,
food for thought.
yeah, I'll think about it, and what comes to mind, and this is a part of what the struggle this week has been, that I that old part of me doesn't want to see what I see, and what I see is that he'd make a great resource as opposed to a great husband. But then I also, which that, having that realization or come to seeing those characteristics that led me to that, also led me to the internal programming. And so I'm what I am facing is, where the hell, why is there such resistance? And then that has me looking at, well, where did the resistance come from? Where the resistance to having him as a resource come from? And I'm still trying to figure that out. But I'm real clear that I want a committed monogamous relationship, but I'm also real clear that he's not my husband. So that's it. That has been a part of the process of unveiling that I have been going through this past week. As you guys have been having the conversation in the chat, it's like, yeah, let me just think on this. Let me think on this. And I saw him. I saw him on Friday. I saw him again yesterday. And every time I see him, I just think, I just love this man. But I also think, this is definitely not my husband. But in a
Okay,
the
hold
thing,
on, right there, right there. When you said, because I remember you just said, I think to myself, I love this man, and I
yeah,
know he's not my husband.
yeah,
Okay, that is the exact same process that I have with one of my resources.
yeah.
That part is called acceptance. So to me, you are accepting the position that you're placing him. But to me, it is the desire that wants a husband to me that has absolutely nothing to do with him. It has
And that's the part.
everything to do with your desire for a husband. So to me, it's call it. This is what calls out to me is okay. Do you? And this is food for thought. Do you have? I don't want to say fear, but lack of a better word, fear or lack of confidence that your husband that is meant for you is there. So let me just grab on to what's closest, even if it's not exactly what I want.
uh, um, I asked myself that very same question, or those questions, early on. And I think that too is a part of the resistance, that no, I don't want to just grab on. That's old behavior. That is behavior that, I don't, again, I've been through a lot in terms of the learning process. And so I'm real clear that I'm not doing that. But what I have come to, for me, the big realization this week, as I have listened to the conversation or read the conversation, has been to that I didn't realize how deep the programming was about how, quote unquote, society would see me. Now that's generational. That is generational, but it is something that I wasn't really aware of. It was hidden in this whole conversation. The whole conversation around resources has brought it up, and I had to say to myself, so what are, because there's a fear there. So what is the fear? And as far as I've gotten now in uncovering is that the fear is, well, how is he going to look at me? How is he going to look at me? Because nobody has to know, it's our business, but will he look at me differently? And that still is, that's just a hurdle. That's a mental hurdle that has surfaced for me that I have not yet seen my way through or around or under or whatever, but that's what's there. That is as far as I have gotten in uncovering what my resistance is. Now, my friend said, I know you're gonna fuck him. I know you are. It's just it's just a matter of when.
Let's see.
And I couldn't deny that, but when it happens, I have to be in a space.
She said when. Y'all caught that right. She said when.
When it happens, I have to be in a space of no regret, no recrimination, no criticism. So I have to do my work. This brings me to doing my inner work and realizing what's going on within me. Has nothing to do with him. Has nothing to do with him. Has only to do with me. So that's what I've been doing.
I never thought I was going to fall in love again. I did. And I feel like that's important for you to remember. And I think that also when it comes to, because my mother is 72. And so we have very different opinions, like you said. Like she's very strong on believing certain things. But I'm the person that said, Mama, that don't work for me. And it's okay for you to say the same thing. What was putting you, you know what, that don't work for me. And I know you have the ability and the strength to do that, because there are a lot of things that we were all brought up with, but we like, I don't do that no more. You know what? I had to eat this liver because Mama told me to. I had to, go to church on Sundays every Sunday at 8:00 because they told me to. But there's a part of you that says, even though I was raised this way, I have the ability to make choices for myself that are no longer in alignment and no longer punishing. And this to me is the hugest part of making any decision and change, is feeling that guilt inside that says, oh my God, but I was raised this way and I feel guilty, and I punish myself because I was punished by other people who said this is how I'm supposed to be. But you don't have to punish yourself. And when you make the choice to not punish yourself for your decisions of changing your mind, because it's okay to change your mind, then understanding that you will find love and you will find the husband, you will find who you want, the qualities that you like. When I do meet somebody, if it doesn't work out, I don't get mad, I don't get upset. I might be a little disappointed, but then I immediately say to myself, what is it that this person brought to the table that I didn't know I needed? What is it that they brought that I didn't know I wanted? And I just add that to my category. There's no time limit. Like you said, I wish I could lickety split say my husband gonna pick me up tomorrow. That would be great. My husband's picking me up tomorrow, y'all. And then it just magically happened. That would be wonderful. But in the meantime, I feel like the man that is going to be my husband is not only going to harness a lot of the qualities I desire, but he's going to show me some of the things I didn't know I needed. So I feel like you're strong enough to change, because there's a lot of things that if you think about it, if you do a quick Rolodex in your head, I bet it's a ton of stuff that you was raised that you don't do no more, and you change that. So you have the ability. It's the fear, either the fear of being alone or the fear of not finding love, to me. That's just to me.
I got something on that too. I gotta let me see. I think when you encounter people, I think they are in silence. Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you, but it's got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think people are assignments. You are assignment to somebody, and somebody's assignment to you. So that's why I don't put expectations on who's the perfect one for me. I know Tina said something about resources, but um, I look at it as that way. But then love is limitless. You're gonna meet somebody that you gonna love, but that doesn't mean that he's gonna be your husband. You are an assignment to him for him to learn something and for you to learn something. And if God sees fit that you are, you met your one, you're gonna know. So when people come in and out of your life, it's for an assignment. I hear a lot of women say, "Oh, I can't find this man. I'm needing." They put so much emphasis on that, not realizing you have to pour into you more than you're actually wanting a husband. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. All right, so I got a question for you. CC, you talk
Well,
about if people were assignments. Say for instance, you do find who you believe is your soulmate, and they believe that you're their soulmate, and y'all have a beautiful embrace, and you're together, and you've done all the checklists and the boxes and things.
mm-hmm.
What if someone else comes up and they check those boxes too? Then what's the assignment looking like?
I mean, I'm currently going through that right now. Like I had a guy and he checked all the boxes, but there is still something with him that is not that I'm not. My spirit is not. No, he checked all the boxes. He made it very clear. I check all my boxes, and why are you not choosing me? Is there something spiritually about you that you're missing?
Right. So,
Yeah.
and I think that's why I brought that up is because a lot of when we were talking about the boxes and the categories and stuff, I think the only reason I'm saying it different is because I feel like it feels different in me. Like right in this area here is because every time I think about resources, just the same way I'm sure Dr. Sue is having those things come up about the side piece and what the definition of that looks like. And even though it fits the definition, checks all the boxes, she knows she's not the side piece. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It's because he ain't trying to be with this lady either. And if he did, then she would no longer be the side. What she considers a side piece because she's like, oh, okay, well, I wish you well. But we allow these definitions and what other people think about what we're doing as resources, if that's the word you hung up on, or assignments, or if that's the word you want to use, or we can just go see every single time. I feel like one of the main reasons I'm seeing is because in some way, shape, or form, I want to see every single time. That doesn't mean I gotta have full blown sex with you, but if you flirt with me and I feel that energy, I'm gonna flirt back.
Yeah.
It's just an honoring of my feelings and what I truly feel. That doesn't mean that I'm not emotionally and spiritually mature enough not to actually have sex with you. But boy, I'm gonna get real close to your face. You're probably gonna feel my breath by the end of the
And
night.
that's why I say most of the time, emotionally, I don't put myself all the way emotionally out there when I'm dating somebody. It's going to be kind of halfway in and out because I want to kind of see if we the chemistry and all of that is there. If it's not, I'm not going to do it halfway. You have a good conversation and then your sex is bad, or your sex is bad, then you have a good conversation. Then it's not what I'm wanting on both ends. So it's like. Because I've had people that I dealt with in the past, and they call me still to this day, and we talk. But is that going to be my person? Is we going to have sex again? No, I don't want that. But I can talk to you as a friend. Yeah, I mean,
And
yeah.
see, that brings up a good point right there. Like those types of resources, the resources that are innocent and they're your resources. When you get into a relationship, sometimes those are the resources that most people you're with are jealous of the most. Not
Mm-hmm.
the sexual people you had sex with, the people you talk to that you can confide in and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's different too. What you been spin on your mind over there? And I want everybody to comment on that one after. I want to hear what on Dion's mind. Would you cut off your emotional or conversational resources if you were in a relationship? But first, Dion, what's been going through your mind up there?
Before I get to that, I was going to say with the conversation that we had throughout the week, it really made my day, and it was kind of funny because as we started talking about resources, I started looking at it. All these resources just started coming in. I'm just sitting here like, when I wanted you, you weren't here, and now I'm trying to do something else. Now you're here. So what's going on here? So, I did take advantage of one of my resources. The other one I put on the shelf. That's the end of that story for right now. You called it. You called it. But anyway, to answer that question, whenever I get to a point where where we were talking about settling down with someone and all that stuff, then the resources are off. Like I remember in my younger days, when I was in the early 20s, I had someone that was a resource. We were friends, and we made it clear from the very beginning, we'll see if a relationship develops naturally out of this. But as for right now, I used to go to my meetings, my business meetings on every Thursday at that time. After the meeting, I had me a session, and then I went home. And that was weekly. And that's what it was. I mean, we'd get together, we would talk, cuddle up, do our thing, clean up, cuddle up, and then I would go home. It satisfied everything that I needed at that time. And then to this day, we're still friends, but they're in a relationship. I'm single. We don't do that. So I'm the same way. We always had that agreement. Like if we find someone that we're with, we're good. We're gonna stop that, and we are both available. Then we're okay with that. So it's just one of those situations. So I feel like that's how I am. Like if I'm with someone and I'm happy with what I am, and we've defined that we are together, I don't need any resources anymore because they are my resource.
All right. So if your resources was also a friend, right? Mm-hmm. And you cut off the resource and you're in a relationship, and they're in a relationship too. They don't want to have sex with you. Would you still, them in a committed relationship, you in a committed relationship, would you bring them around who you're committed to?
I haven't advanced. And I feel, if we have that communication and we've made that clear and we are friends and that's a foundation that we have, then yeah, they're not going anywhere. And I mean, that's a conversation that me and the person that I'm with going to have. And from my experiences, everyone that I'm with know that I'm loyal and they understand, they trust me. So it's never, ever been an issue for me. I don't know about some other situations about sexual stuff. Like once I'm with someone, that's who I'm with. I don't go out of that boundary. And I think that's why I have that situation with the people that when as Dr. Sue say, when I want the strings and I get those strings attached to that person, I'm good. I don't need anything else but that person. Mm-hmm. So everybody that I've been with, they've been comfortable. Like we said the conversation before, they've been comfortable with my previous exes. They've been comfortable with all my friends that I hang out with, people who I have a lot of things in common. I spend a lot of conversation time with. They're okay with that because they know they're going to get what they're supposed to get as well. And I'm not going to separate the two. And I prioritize them over that, but they're not exclusive. Like you're not going to not do this because you're here, because they were there before you. They're going to be there after you if we don't make it. But while you're here, I'm going to make you a priority. So yeah.
He said, "You making me give my 5-year resource because if you fuck up, I got one on the side, baby."
Hallelujah.
He's coming in a Honda. Yes, Dr. Sue, go ahead.
So what I want to know is, how do you tell these people? Do you tell them on the front end? You tell them after you are together? How does
wait? Which people you tell? Are you talking about letting the resource go, or are you talking about telling the new interest that you had a resource and you let them go? Who you talking about?
I'm talking about telling the new person you had a resource, you let them go, but they're your friend, and so they ain't going nowhere. And
that sounds like a class we need to have.
And then what? Wait. What if your new person says, "Well, I'm just not comfortable with that"? Then how do you deal with that?
That's a whole big mess.
That's what?
That's a whole big mess.
That's a whole big mess.
Yeah, the way she put it, yeah, it doesn't.
Because people have insecurities.
Yeah,
they do.
Coming into a new relationship, huh?
If you have an insecurity, then you're not a resource.
No, she's saying about like the person. Yeah,
I'm talking about the new boo.
Yeah, she's saying if she got a new boo because of what Dion said, not what you say, what Dion said. If she got a new boo, and the boo said, "Who's that?" and you say, "That was one of my resources, but we real mad and cool, and they ain't going nowhere," and your new boo be like, "It's them or me." What you gonna do?
And she said they have insecurities. The new boo might have insecurities.
What Dion said then. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
I'm with Dr. Sue on this one.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
You need to go a little deeper than that.
you're either gonna have, because if I get rid of somebody, I'm getting rid of them because they did something to me. And you got to trust that I have integrity in our relationship, that I'm not going to cheat on you. And if you already don't trust that I won't have integrity, then we got a whole nother problem. Because even if I do, let's say, even if I do get rid of this person, because I've actually done that, I'm like, oh, okay, I get rid of that person. It don't stop.
No, it does not. No, it does
Because
not.
now they feel like they can tell you everybody to be with, whether you done had something with them or not. We talking about a bigger issue here.
Mhm.
So, I'm going to trust you. You need to trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
If you
I'm with
can't
you on that,
trust me,
Tina.
then, because I'm going to fire you because of what you did. I'm not going to fire you because of what somebody else said. That's not fair, you know.
Yeah.
I know for me, with a situation like that, it's one of those things that we've gotten to the point where I've got to the point of you are my boo, and we're in this together. We've already had a lot of conversations about our past by that time. So, like the conversation we had last week, what we tell up front, that's not something that we really talk about up front, because at that point, I don't know if you are going to be that boo. But if we're getting to a level where we get to know each other and we're progressing, that's our goal. Then yes, now you've unlocked another thing that we need to talk about. Hey, this is someone that I've done this with. Hey, this is my friend. Like in my last toxic relationship, my friend told me, you need to go hang out with this friend. I was like, absolutely not, because if I hang out with this friend, I've already told you what the 10 years have been with us before. I'm not hanging out with this friend, because if I hang out with them, I know what's going to go on. I'm not setting us up because I want to be with you. So it's that conversation of being honest and upfront with them. Like, this is what we did, this is where we are, and this is where I'm drawing my line. And I'm not going to cross my line. I'm going to be truthful and honest with where I am. So that's how I communicate with everyone. And I think that's why when I'm involved with people, they don't have an issue with me going out with whoever, whenever, because they know if it's a situation where I feel like I'm challenged or I don't think I'm strong enough to handle, I'm not going to put myself in that situation.
Because I have a friend, when somebody mentioned friend with benefit, I have a friend with benefit, and it was actually a woman. Because like I told you, I have a hard time with that. And so she was already my friend. We've been friends since 2006. We've been friends since 2006. And she's been through several relationships and marriages with me, and vice versa with her. We would do vacations and stuff like that, which is really convenient, sometimes. But we also have an understanding, you know what I'm saying? And we are still friends to this day. Now, has anybody ever asked me about it? Nope. I have yet to have anybody ask me, had I had sex with any of my friends? No, I have not. And I believe that reason is because I display loyalty to them and I display integrity in the relationship that I have. There's no reason for them to even think that I'm doing something, because I'm not.
Yeah, that's a sticky one there. That's for
If you
me.
ask me, I will tell you, but if don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, I agree with that though. Yeah, I just don't see what the conversation it how do you even start a conversation? What would have happened for you to have want to know even about someone's been with? Like unless it's something to do with a health scare or you got a child with someone. I just don't see why previous interactions even matter that much.
Mm-mm.
I
Because if
think
you're
for
telling
I
someone
think because
spiritually or
Yeah, but they gonna lie anyway. They gonna tell on themselves anyway.
somebody's picking up somebody is picking up on a vibration. Somebody is picking up on a vibration that that insecurity, or as my friend Tila Shell taught me, she said sometimes your insecurity is your inside security alarm going off saying, hey, something is not right. Sometimes it doesn't always mean that you don't have enough self-esteem and think it's not that. It's sometimes that inside alarm is going off, or your intuition is picking up well, hold on, these people got a deeper connection than what's there. So I'm gonna bring that up and address it. And I've had that. I've had that with people, and I'm like, look, and they're like, oh, you're just being insecure. No, only to find out that alarm is going off. But be honest and give me that choice. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with y'all. I don't think it's gonna come up. I think it comes up because there is something going on. If somebody is like, I'm picking up on something, and to me, at that point, you have a wonderful opportunity to validate what that person is saying. If you don't validate it, now when it finds out later that it was true, now I really don't trust you because there was no integrity in your answer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but let's put a pin in there. It's only okay and necessary and good if you validate it if it needs to be validated. But sometimes you just gotta kind of energetically check people because I have had situations where people swear up and down something, this, that, and the other, and I know good damn well it ain't. And I'm not gonna sit here when because if I get to the point where I'm just like, we're not gonna do this, it's because I went through every other sympathetic stage of telling you that's just not true. It's just not true. And we can go about it however you want to go about it. I can come up with something and we go about it that way. Whatever conversation, if you have any questions, ask all those questions. But I'm not going to continue to have this conversation centered around something that you are seeking for me to fix that only is inside of you because I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Only you know that. And especially me as being a coach and, just my personality in general. I just want to fix things. I want to fix things. And I just find myself in the past being in relationships past the point of my presence even being necessary for there even to be a problem. That's the problem before I got to the house. You know what I mean? It was never me. It was never me. And my problems that I had in a relationship was never them either. I'm not saying this is one way. This is both ways. Every problem I've had in a relationship was not them. It was something in me that I didn't unravel. But what we're talking about right now is the friend part. And I have had friends that I've been with, and they're good friends. Like, they're just good friends. I mean, because quite honestly, had they not had that energetic pool, we probably never would have had sex anyway. There was something there, that I explored. And I said this earlier. I explore things for people. But I know when not to explore things for people. And the people that I have explored things with that were friends, we're still friends because I knew I could. I knew that was something that could happen and we could still maintain our respect, our energy, our vibration. And still, it was good. I can tell. And I can tell when I can't. Even when, if I'm being asked, can we please? Hell no. Hell no. No, sure can't. Because I can energetically see past where we are right now. And if I know that if I already see it, then I'm not going there. Which I guess why I say with the resources, I don't really keep any. Because if I intertwine my energy with someone in a sexual way, I already know before I intertwine if it got any kind of longevity. I really do. I really, really do. And sometimes the longevity is there, but I also know that the role that they're playing is going to change, and I think that's fine too. And I think sometimes they accidentally get into that category of resources just because things are going well and we ain't got to label nothing, So same thing, different words. Pretty much. All right, we over that. We are hour 13 minutes. What else y'all got? Anything? Anybody else want to say anything before we wrap this thing up? Anybody? Well, we'll just go around robin. CC, go ahead and tell the people goodbye. We're about to get on off here. It's so hot in this room. I think it was that shot of tequila I took.
Y'all have a good night. Y'all have a rest of your good night. Because I know I got to work. I got to go to work in a couple hours, but
yeah, I know you had to get out here. That's why I started.
Take a little hour nap. Yeah.
That's what's up. Well, as we wrapping up, if you got pop off, we completely understand.
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Sue, what you got?
What we talking about next week?
Ooh, I don't know. Did anything come up for anybody? If you asked that, you must have a topic. I don't know. She got one. What is it, Dr. Sue?
I don't have one.
No?
But I like this situationship thing, so let's keep talking about it.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what we gonna just let it keep flowing in the direction it goes in. You got any final word?
Yeah, it's been real. I appreciate that we are coming together. I have no clue what our audience thinks, and I'm okay with that. I can tell you that I can tell you that I am receiving great value, both from the camaraderie in our chat as well as the conversations on live stream. And hey, you guys got me doing my work. I am in the work, figuring it out, and yeah, I'm excited about it, and I'll let y'all know.
Okay, wait. I can't wait. We gonna look. We gotta have a little symbol for the chat. So if anybody drop that, we know. Maybe like a 4-leaf clover. Lucky. All right, what's up, Dion? Wrap them up one time.
All right. I'm just happy. Like, you know, we have great people here, and I'm loving the camaraderie that we have here. I'm loving the conversation we have. And like Dr. Sue, I'm like looking at my life and trying to figure out, you know, where my journey is going to lead me next. And these conversations are allowing me to see some different avenues that I haven't seen before. So, you know, as we explore situationships and all the things that come along with it, you know, we're going to grow each day, and every time that we connect is always going to be there. So continue to grow, continue to be you, and continue to be authentic.
That's what's up. Mm-hmm. All right, that's it, y'all. That is episode 3 of Situationship. We'll be back next week, same time on Sundays. What is it?
Bye, y'all.
7 p.m. Eastern, and what is it? Pacific. Whatever. Figure out your own time zone. We're out here. Bye.